Ladies and gentlemen, just because you can't do it, it just means you haven't figured it out yet. I'm going to show you how to design a trading plan that will really work for you, putting a label on everything, staying consistent, staying sharp, evolving with what you see, algorithmic levels on Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google, as well as the S&P 500 in gold, as well as our final thoughts. I am Mark Melnick. This is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. Have a very interesting show for you guys tonight, as I think we always have an interesting show for you guys, but it's going to be very interesting today. And I want to actually show you why putting a label on everything um, is a very important thing. There's terms like for people who they like to go out and they like to put labels on things, and usually it garners sort of a negative connotation. However, when it comes to trading, that negative connotation should be removed and applied sparingly. So, what we're going to teach you how to do today is how to do a real Newsbeat game plan. And, I almost feel like the point of a game plan is to really describe to you where your strengths and weaknesses are. So what we're going to show you today is we're just going to go through our agenda. This is going to be a very short show. Put a label on everything, staying consistent, staying sharp. Okay? By watching the show, you're pausing the slide and agreeing to it. Okay? Thank you very much for agreeing to that. All right. Let's get right into the mix right now. We're going to, whoops, right back to me. We're going to tell you how to put a label on everything. And I think one of the key things is I'm just going to refer to a member's email, which I received today. And I just wanted to go over that with you. And, some people, they say it's, you have to, either if you want to be consistent, you have to take tremendous losers when you're wrong, or if you want to be sharp, um, you have to take, micro cuts and hit home runs when you're right. And I am somebody who probably believed this maybe 8, 9, 10 years ago. But what I've realized in the market is anytime I felt like I couldn't do something, it didn't mean it was a lie, which is such a horrible word to use. Didn't mean it was nonsense. Didn't mean it was BS, which is bullish. It just means you haven't figured it out yet. And what I strive to do here in the Newsbeat Live Room is help people figure it out. Now, I get hundreds of these emails a month, hundreds. And I just wanted to share one with you. This one came in an hour ago, and it's from a member. Mark, I want to give you an update on my trading success. Since you worked with me and gotten me on the right track, I've been green 40 out of 44 days. So when I come to you and I say I'm trying to bat over 70% and don't fall within the 43-57 paradigm, if you're batting between 43 and 57%, you will be destroyed. You would much rather bat 30% than 43%, than 48%, than 55%, because otherwise you just won't know what's happening if your strategy works or not. So she says, as you can see from my journal, I follow the strategies, I win. And when I don't, I pay dearly. Since October 11th, I'm up 27 grand. And this is what I actually wanted to share with you. The most important part here is labeling everything. Notice here what she did. Now, when I come out and I use these clever terms, oh, this is a one and done, this is a Mark 5, this is my Know Your Limit 21, it sounds all cute and fancy, but there's a reason why I do it, because these strategies have to stick in your mind. So what she did here was she tagged Well, oh, let me just drop a little so you can see the top. She tagged every single one of her strategies. She tagged every single one of her strategies, showed how many times she did the strategy, the count, and the volume, as well as the total P&L. This is a very effective way of doing it because what she accomplished here is she knows what strategy she's good at. I mean, I don't, at this point, and let me just point out that this person was a failing trader, was upset, trying to take care of their loved ones, their future, their retirement, just like most traders are trying to do. And what she did is she literally tagged every single strategy she does. So, what's the most important thing before you take a trade? Not whether your risk reward is there, not whether you're trying to make five for every one, not if you're trying to make one for every one. It's important to throw a label on it. It's important that maybe labels don't mean much to you when you go out shopping and that same shirt in Target costs $20 and in the high-end fashion store it costs $200. But if you're able to come in and just label your trades like this, one and done, Mark 5, Chatter, ADMA, High 5, these are strategies we do in the room. Then I want to show you. Look at this bottom one here. No setup. I'll move my mug so you could see how much she lost. No setup. 46 times. 802 volume, which is the option she traded, which is about 80,000 shares. Major exit call, Mark. She literally started labeling things that I don't even label. Negative news. I don't know what re is, or maybe retrying something on negative news. Patrick sweep news. So Patrick is our Chipotle, our expert on Mexican cuisine, and she literally is recording how well she trades on the stuff he posts in the room. And she shows how many times she made $38 because of Patrick. Thank you, Patrick. Mark 1, news positive, AK50, our newest strategy. She tried it once. She made 66 bucks. Look at that. With 6 contracts. So to keep life easy, I would come to her and I would simply say, well, do the one and done, do the Mark 5. Let me move my face again. Do the one and done, do the Mark 5, do chatter. And it's very easy for me to say that. It doesn't take a rocket scientist for anybody to look at what she does. Now, do you think that she should work on getting better with no setup? Or VWAP break lower where she lost 700 bucks? You think I should teach her how to adjust and fix that strategy? Or would you simply tell her to ignore it and just focus on what she's doing well up here? So I'll ask you, type in 55 if you think she should fix what she's doing wrong down here by trying to fix the strategy, or type in 77 if you think that she should just stick with the stuff she does well, her top 5, 6 strategies. What do you think? It's kind of funny how once you actually do something like this, it's a unanimous vote in the room. It's a unanimous vote. Everybody's saying 77. Because who gives a crap about fixing what you don't do well? How about we find one thing you do well? Her? I think she does 6 things well. The rest is nonsense. Maybe the Know Your Limit 21 number 7 here, because she only did it 2 times and made money. Maybe. Maybe. But listing it like this, tag, the graph shows a visual of how profitable you were. Honestly, this is the least important thing here, but it's a nice visual. But if you could just do tag, meaning the name of your trade, gross P&L, how many times you've done it, and your volume, you're set. You need 4 things to have a master game plan. But it's very important you're able to tag them. And if you can't tag them properly, the strategy is worthless. Strategy is worthless. If you try to tag it and you can't, you don't remember, worthless. It'll end up hurting you. And by the way, hundreds of our members are batting in the 90s. Almost everyone profitable in the room is batting over 70. One of our members had a hard November here. He sent me it earlier this morning at 11:31, and Google gave me three responses. Like, you know how Google gives you responses that you could click to? Had a dip in November, but here are the totals today. $146,000, almost 150 grand after having a bad November. And Google was giving me three options. I could have clicked thank you, okay, thanks, or awesome, thanks. So I went with the awesome, thanks. So staying consistent is the most important thing of trading, because if you don't stay consistent, you will suffer so much psychological toxicity that you won't know what to do with yourself. The only reason why people in the 4357 paradigm need to hit 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 when they're right is because they're trying to make up for all the failed trades. People come to me when I show them my numbers, and I walk in any firm. I walked in any firm when I was walking around and I was shopping my track record around, seeing what they would offer me. The first thing they tell me is, you have by far the highest consistency ratio and Sharpe ratio in the entire firm. You know what my response to that was? You know what I did after that? I could have worked in Manhattan. I could have had practically unlimited buying power. One firm offered me $150 million. But, but I have a kid. I don't want to leave my kid at home. I don't want to never see him. I don't want to wake up 5:30 in the morning, rush out of my house by 6, travel into Manhattan, get home by 6, 7, and just be wasted, completely wasted after a day of traveling and work. So you know what I did instead? Guess what? What do you guys think I did instead? I started the Newsbeat Live Room because I believed that I could take what I do and instill it upon a community who is skeptical, who says high hit rates do not exist. They're lies. They're not lies. Hundreds of traders are doing them right here in this room. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And yes, we have the largest room here in T3 Live. So think about that. Don't tell me it's nonsense. And I was that person who believed that. And if you can't do it, it just means you have not figured it out yet. And that's okay. You're telling me you can't hit high rates, you can't have a high Sharpe ratio, you can't be phenomenally consistent, you can't be well disciplined, you can't tag the ideas you're doing, you can't do this. We could land a rover on Mars, take soil samples, look for life, travel around, send back color pictures on Mars' surface, which at times is 180 to 200 million miles away from Earth. We could do that, but there's nothing out there that'll help you be consistent in this market. No, it can't happen. No, no way. No way. Humanity's just not at that point yet, Mark. Tell that to Goldman Sachs back in 2016, who had, can somebody give me a drum roll? Can somebody give me a drum roll? 0 down days. Billions and billions and billions of dollars from algorithmic trading and algorithmic strategies in which we teach in the room. Billions of dollars. Not off their sound investment advice to their investors and taking a piece of the winnings like any true brokerage firm would do. No, scalping off of you. You're an intraday trader. You, trying to take pennies and dollars from you, and it adds up when they take from everyone. So don't tell me that you can't be consistent and sharp at the same time. So maybe not. But from what people tell me when I come in with my track record, it's like you have the highest Sharpe ratio and consistency rate they've ever seen. That means nothing for you. Nothing. How does that help you? It helps you if I can instill those principles upon you. I'm not here to show you fancy things. I don't want to show you a picture of my car. I don't want to show you a picture of my house. I don't want to show you records of all the great things that we have done in this world with money. I don't want you looking at me walking around Brooklyn to a bunch of homeless people handing out money 4 times a month, once a week on Friday. I don't want to show you that stuff. That's my personal life. And yeah, I could probably ooh and ah you and ooh ah ooh ah ooh ah ooh ah. How about we just make you a better trader today? Evolve with what you see. How did I evolve with what I saw? Yesterday, I took 2 trades. I lost on one. I batted 50%. Today, I batted 100%. Let's talk about that. What I learned. All right. So, yesterday, I was looking to do what's called a know your limit strategy on Western Digital. And I'm going to show you what it is and how I evolved in one day. I'm not going to tell you, you need to adapt and you need to change and I'm going to be as vague as possible, but you can't disagree with me because obviously I'm right. How about we actually show you how to do it? All right, so here's a trade yesterday. This is how you evolve from a losing trade. All right, this is how you do it the right way, the real way, not the nonsensical way. So basically, my strategy says on a Newsbeat name that we're watching, you could basically buy the stock when it dips underneath a blue line. In Western Digital, yes, I lost on the exponential 8, a different trade, but I noticed this on the 21 moving average, and I just want to show you how I evolved. So Western Digital, it hit this 21 here, right over here at 57.24, dropped down to 57.22. The stock dropped a total of, went to 57.09, 15 cents, and then came up back up, gave you a nice little scalp. So I'm sitting here looking at eh, a name here. It basically dropped about 20 cents on a $50 name. Give it, I'm not being exact here. We're estimating. So you know what this chart teaches me? Let me show you my way of looking at it. I say, I wonder if we get a little bit of a down move underneath the 21 tomorrow when I pick a name, if it will work. And today we were watching Netflix. What Netflix did today. So that was a losing trade from yesterday and how I converted and learned from it today. So right over here, so you buy it the first time it flushes underneath the 21. It flushed down here. I kid you not, the Newsbeat Live Room was buying Netflix at the dead bottom right there, the bottom of that tail. Not a confirmation. They tell you, oh, you need an exact entry point. Nonsense. Not if you want to really be successful. If you want to lie to yourself, if you want to come in all confident and then get shot down and look like a piece of Swiss cheese. Yes. Do you think I knew exactly when I was going to enter Netflix today? Nobody in the room did. And everybody in the room was watching it at the same time, and they didn't know where they wanted to enter. The only thing they knew was they needed to buy it underneath this blue line. So it dips underneath the blue line. I buy in at the dead bottom here of the pullback, and it snaps up with the targeted day highs. I sold it earlier. I had to go eat my lunch, and I didn't want to hold the trade. And I bought it at the dead bottom here. And the stock bounced up about $1 5 minutes later after 12 o'clock for slow afternoon trading. That is how you evolve with the market. You look at something you did wrong and you apply it to another name the next day. And the only way you can have a high hit rate is focusing in on the news. You want to tell yourself that news doesn't matter? I used to trade that way. I've made millions of dollars without the news, and I made many more millions with it. It's funny. I went into a firm at 2000. I'm not going to drop a tier one firm in Manhattan in 2013, and I came with a track record, and I showed them 5 years of work. I was up like whatever, 3.1, 3.2 million over 5 years. So I was making sub $1 million on average year. And I come into the firm and I show my track record, and I'm trying to raise money for myself. I was looking for them to drop me $10 million to trade with. I didn't want to trade my own money. You know what they told me? What do you think they told me? No, no, we're not going to give it to you. No, we're not going to give you the money. I wrote the email to the guy, whatever, whatever, whatever. I'm like, look, thank you so much for interviewing me. Thank you so much for inviting me down. Can you just please at least tell me why so I know what to do next time? What could I do better to impress somebody else in the future like you? This is what I asked him. And he respected that. And he got back to me and he said, you're just not batting high enough to justify the risk, is what he told me. And I didn't understand because even though I was consistently profitable, and I know it's very nice to show every day that you make money without every day that, you know, without showing any of your losing days. That's a very powerful tool. He basically saw everything underneath the hood, and he wasn't impressed. He wasn't impressed. I was impressed. My finances were paid. It's a lot. $3 million is a lot of money, you know, even over 5 years. So, you know, I was shocked. I was like disappointed. I didn't understand it. Only then did I start going through NewsFlow. And only then was I able to increase my hit rate from the 4357 paradigm, which I was paralyzed in for 15 years of my career, and I couldn't break out of it. And as soon as I started applying NewsFlow to my trading, my Sharpe ratio, my P&L, my consistency, my stress levels, my happiness, my health, my blood pressure, all my relationships with loved ones, family, etc. I was nicer to my dog. All improved. I was nicer to humanity. I started giving to charities in a meaningful way. Everything in my life changed. And if somebody came to me and said, you know, they were doing all these great things with high hit rates and high Sharpe ratios, and maybe if you told me that 15 years ago, I too might have been skeptical, in all fairness. But the fact remains, ladies and gentlemen, there's a difference between people around me being able to do this and me doing it. And the answer is we're all doing it. And I'm going to keep this video real short because I'm not here to pitch you or sell you anything. I just want you to know how to structure your trades, whether you're taking my ideas or not. Label them. Whether you're in my room or not, label them. That's going to help get you to the next level. That is why I do these videos. Slap the like button if you like this. How about some algo levels for you guys right now? Now, yesterday on these simple levels, just so you know, like, why do you give these levels every day, Mark Melnick? Like, why do you do that? Well, yesterday I gave you the level 3198.22, 33,198 spot 22 as the S&P 500 resistance. Day high 3198.22. Hmm, that's actually kind of awkward. Google, we gave you 13. Hold on, I have to look it up. On Google, I'm sorry, we gave you 3196.37 on the S&P. It hit 3198.22. We're less than $2 off the top. On Google here, we gave you the top of 1363.31. You broke it by $1.01 today, the resistance on Google. We gave you on yesterday's levels 1350.85 as the support on Google. You hit 1350.77. You are 8 cents off. So whether you do decide to take T3's most popular course ever, or you don't, that's up to you, but I will give you tomorrow's levels today. Enjoy them for free. This is not teaching a man to fish. This is giving a man a fish. Take them, enjoy them, exploit them. These are tomorrow's levels today. And my final thoughts on trading is that is how you're supposed to do an effective game plan. I think Wall Street ultimately gets it wrong, and I have gotten it wrong for the longest time because I was buying into the nonsense that Wall Street was teaching me over my 20-year career. They were telling me things like this and that, and I've tried all these systems and they just never produced results. The way I showed you how to tag something, that will get you the results because in the worst case scenario, even if you don't have the magic strategy and the best thing ever and whatever it is, ultimately a plan like that, a plan that actually allows you to label what you're good at. Again, whether you're in another service somewhere on Wall Street or you're in our service, irrelevant. You must make sure that every trade you do, win or lose, that you could throw a label on it. Again, you could call it your ABC trade, your XYZ trade. You could call it Susan if it makes you sleep better at night. But whatever it is, make sure you name it because that will ultimately allow you to know what you are best at. I hope you guys enjoyed this Newsbeat show. Happy trading, make money, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning on the Newsbeat live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.